Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin and welcome back to BlabenSolutions. So as you can see, we are in the month of February, and in here everyone knows that the month of February is the month of love, right? Good. So in today's video tutorial, we will be looking at how to create a church event flyer, a Valentine's Day church event flyer. Well, I don't know how to put it, but I guess you understand what I mean. But before we kickstart this video, if this is your first time of joining the channel, this is BlabenSolutions and we are into the production graphic design video tutorials. So if you think videos of such nature will be of great benefit to you, then I encourage you to hit on the subscribe button and consider becoming a member of this lovely and amazing family we've got here. Do also like the video if you find it interesting, and please share the video as well, so your other colleagues could also learn something from this tutorial. Without any further ado, let's quickly jump right into the video and let's begin. Alright, so the first thing we are going to do in here is to first of all create our working space, and come into File, click on New, and let's start creating something nice. So in here I'm going to be using the size A5, so you could come to Print and select A5. Good. So I'm going to be naming this Valentine Church Flower. Good. And everything in here, it's okay, so we are just going to click create. Great. So click on create and we have this. Well, one thing I should have done before clicking on the create, I didn't do. So what we're going to do is, so I wanted it to be in a landscape mode, but currently I've left it in a horizontal mode or a vertical mode. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is to come to my image in here and click on image rotation. So we're going to be using 90 degrees clockwise, counterclockwise. So this is what I actually wanted. Then press Ctrl 0 to have this fit onto the screen or the canvas area that we are currently working with. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up the background, right? So I'm going to be doing a solid background and putting a dot of or a touch of light in it. Good. So come onto the here and let's choose gradient color, right? Good. So I'm going to be applying a template in here, but I'm just going to I'll take it off. So this is what I want. Let's click on it, and I'm going to be copying the hexacode of this color, so that is FF0801. so Ctrl C to copy that. Click on in here, click in here, and I need to, so let's check the hexacode for this color as well, so that you can as well follow along. So the hexacode is 350201. Good. So and so let's change that of this to match this color. So 350201. Good. And let's click on create. Okay, and let's click OK here, and let's click OK here. Now in here I'm going to be creating a new layer on top of my gradient fill. Then I'm going to be using the brush tool. Then let's increase the size. So I'm going to be using the square bracket, the close square bracket on my keyboard to increase the size of my brush. Double tap in here and let me paste the hexacode that I copied. Click on OK and let's do this. Great. Let's go back to our move tool. So these are the resource files that we will be using for today's tutorial. We have this nice looking lens flare, should I say gold flare, and we have our resource personnel, we have our main speaker, we have the other stuffs as well. So working on the background, I will need this guy over here. So let me hold and drag this guy onto the working space. So I'm going to be enlarging this please make sure you hold your Alt key so we get a proportionate size. I'm going to be shifting this here this way and hit on enter on your keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to be turning the blending mode of this to screen. So let's come here and let's choose screen. Add a vector max to it. Use a brush tool. Let's reduce the size a bit and let's wipe out the edges of the sides. I don't want it to look as if we place something on the background, so let's just wipe this small portion so it blends with the background so it looks realistic. Right, good. So this looks amazing. And what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be duplicating the same file and I'm going to be shifting it. So Ctrl J to do the duplication. Hold your shift key, click and drag this to the other side of the working space or the document. So I'm going to be using my brush tool with my vector max selected. I'm going to use a brush tool to wipe this portion off as well so it looks realistic as if it came with the background. Then with this light flare, I don't need them, so I'm just going to click and get rid of them, and there you go. So we are currently done with working with the background. So I can see something here. Let me use a brush to clear this guy off. Right, good. All right, so that is the background for you. We are done with the background. Now the next thing we are going to do is to type in the name of the church. So the name of the church is what's the name? Calvary Baptist. All right, so guys, there you have it. And now the next thing we are going to do is bring in the logo placer, or let me say I'm going to be creating a rectangle shape like this. So a rectangle shape like this with a white background. Then well, I was looking out for a logo that I could place in here, but I didn't find one, so I'm just going to do this without a logo. So in here, just press Ctrl T and get the transform lines around the border of the shape. Right click on it and let's choose warp. Then in here we are just going to raise this inside a bit and we're going to bring this outside this way. Right, that is it. So when you are done, just click on the correct key here, or you can just hit on the enter key on your keyboard. So that is it. If you have a logo, you can place the logo in here. If this looks so big, you can reduce the size of it, and everything works out fine for you. So now that we are done with the logo, the next thing we are going to do is to set up the theme of the event. So in here we are going to be typing present. So present, this is going to be in white as well. Present, the same lemon milk. I'm going to be increasing the space, that is the tracking, and increasing the space. So I'm going to be putting this in here this way. Let me group the logo with the name of the church, Ctrl G, and I'm going to name this logo. This helps tidy up the entire stuff that we are doing. So let me quickly align this guys to the center, and now continuing, I'm going to be typing a night of love, a night of love, a night of love. So that is the theme, a night of love. So a night of love. With this, I'm going to be using a font by name Adelino. Wow. So let's bring back the spacing to 0, and this should be in Adelino light. Then let's increase the size, make it be in caps. So I'm going to be putting this in here. Right, good. So let me bring this regular, and actually I'm going to, let's increase the size to, let's say 48, sorry, 48. All right, so this looks nice. That is it for the A Night of Love. Then we're going to have the theme of the program that says Be My Date. Good. So I'm going to be typing Be My Date, Be My. So these guys are not supposed to be in caps, so I'm going to take off the cap, and they are not supposed to be in the same font, so I'm going to pick a font, pastel colors. So pastel colors, this is what I'm going to be using. And let's increase the size a bit. So Be My date, yeah. So we're going to be placing this here. So I'm going to increase the size of this date to something huge, yeah, something huge, to something that we think we like. Then I'm going to be adding a shape, a rectangle shape in here to match this. So this is going to be something like this with a yellow background. So this should be on top of date. Yeah, it's intentional. It should be on top of date. So what is going to be here is DUBBED dab. Then I'm going to be choosing a font name Lemon Milk. Reduce the size to about something nice. Change this to medium, and let me still reduce the size a bit. So Control T, and let's reduce the size to this. Then I'll be placing this on top of that, right? So let's Control T, right click, and let's choose 90 degrees counterclockwise. All right, so I'm going to be changing the color of this to something like this, something nice. Okay, so this looks nice. Good. So that is a theme. Calvary Baptist Church Temple, the Temple of Grace, presents A Night of Love, Debt Be My Date. So one last thing, part of the theme is Be My Date tonight. So tonight is also going to be in pastel colors. All right, so please be my date tonight. Great. So that is that for the theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be grouping all these guys together. So leaving the present. So Control J to group this, and I'm going to name this theme. Then the next part that we will be working with is the importation of our speaker, the main speaker, and the guest speakers. I believe this is a part most people enjoy a lot. Basically most of my videos, this is a part that most people quite enjoy a lot. I quite remember the first video, my other previous video that I made, I skipped this part, and come on, I was nearly killed. So guys, in this video, I'm not going to skip this part. I'm going to take you guys through the step-by-step process of how I got that done. So please do well to follow carefully, and please, if you find it interesting, do well to like the video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to follow me on my social media handles: Instagram at BlabenSolutions, Twitter at BlabenSolutions, Facebook Blaben, Telegram BlabenSolutions. All right, so let's continue with the video. So in here, we have our resource. We have this to be our main speaker, and we have these guys to be our guest speakers. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be importing the main speaker. So hold and drag this onto the, so this guy should be in here this way, but I'm going to be reducing the size of this guy somewhere this way. So I'm not going to do anything to this guy. I have this image in here. Then what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be creating a shape, a rectangle shape this way, and I'm going to be So Control T, I'm going to do this well. Okay, so I like it this way. Then I'm going to be holding and shifting this guys up a bit. Then with my main speaker, I'm going to be reducing the size again and shifting this guy up. All right, so let me work on by adding a vector mask onto the main speaker. So I'm going to brush a portion of this way. So I don't want this to look as if that is the ending part, so it should look nice this way. Good. Then well, I have a full video on how to work with the layer mask or the vector mask. So if you have not watched that video, there's a link up here, so do well to click the link and watch it, but please make sure to finish watching this video before you get there to watch that video. But still, if you still don't get it, you can pause the video, click on the link, finish watching it, and come back and continue with this video. So now that we have this main speaker in here, I'm going to go right in and import my other guest speakers. So with this middle, I'm going to first of all import the lady speaker. Alright, so I'm going to be reducing the size of this lady to fit in the box. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to leave this head. Actually, I'm going to extend the head outside the box, right? So part of the body will be shaped or clip marks into the shape, and part of the body will be outside the box. How am I going to do that? Please follow along. So with this image, I'm going to hold my Alt key and click down here, or just let's right click and let's choose create clipping mask. Good. Now that we've created the clipping mask, let's press Ctrl J, and we have the same image, same position, nothing has changed, just right as it is. Then what I'm going to be doing next is, with this top image, I'm going to be adding a vector mask to this. Press on my B key on the keyboard, that is a brush tool. Then reduce the size of the brush to something small. Then I'm going to be wiping this portion off. So we are cleaning the part that we don't need, excluding the head. We need the head, so please, we can wipe the head off. Alright, so that is it. Even if we end up cleaning portion of this, there is another portion beneath it this way. So that is it. Great. So that is it for the first image. Now let's move on to the second clipping mask image. That is this shape. Good. So let's head on, and I'm going to, all right, so Control T, let's scale this on enter, right click on the layer and click on create clipping mask, Control J to duplicate. We have this. Let's use our vector mask, press the brush tool, and let's wipe this portion off. Isn't that nice? Isn't that beautiful? You can now pause the video and give it a try, and let's see how it goes. If you don't get it, please make sure to watch my complete video on how I have a complete video on how to work with the layer mask. All right, so our last clipping mask thing is to, first of all, so let me make this guy look this way. All right, so that is it. Then, so I'm going to create the clipping mask of this to this guy. Then Ctrl J to duplicate, add a vector mask, select my brush tool, and let's wipe this. All right, so now that we are done with the importation of the image, the main speaker and the guest speakers, the next thing is to work on their names, right? We can't just leave it like this. So let's quickly work on the names, and guys, first of all, I'm going to do the first part of how to, as in the name of the main speaker. Then I'm going to skip this part so that we kind of save time a bit, right? Good. So in here we are going to come onto our shape rectangle to right click on it, and let's choose the ellipse tool. So we are going to be working with the ellipse tool. So something round, something nice, something round, something nice. Good. So in here we're going to be selecting a white background. We're actually going to be adding a gradient background. Yes. So then we're going to be putting this guy in here, right? Good. Then I'm going to be, let's go to the add layer style, let's say gradient overlay, and let's make this look this guy, and we are going to be adding a stroke of white. So let me reduce the size to 7. Then that is it. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to be duplicating this guys to meet up with this guys, right? So Alt key, and I'm going to be placing this guy over here. Alt key again, I'm going to be placing this guy over here, and the Alt key again, I'm going to be placing this guy over here. Great. So well, I'm going to be taking these guys off. Control J, and this guy should just come up. So let me group the images, the clipping mark that we created. All right, so we now have the shapes of the name. So we currently going to be using a font by name Amarillo. I'm going to be using 2 fonts actually to do the name. So Reverend, this will be in Amarillo, a font with name Amarillo, Amarillo. Good. Then reduce the size to something. Then let's change the color to this yellow color. Great. Then we'll be placing this guy here, but let's still reduce the color. So Control T and hold your Shift key or Alt key, and let's choose this guy over here. So we have this nice looking Reverend. Then the next thing is I'm going to be typing the name of the Reverend, and that is, the name is James, Reverend James Mensah. Good. I'm not going to use Amarillo. I'm going to use the font Lemon Mock. I've already used this, so this should be here for me. And I'm going to be changing the color to white. Then I'm going to be placing this guy over here. Control T. Let's scale this. All right, so I can still see the Reverend is huge enough, like it's too big. So let me reduce the size of the Reverend again, and I'm going to be shifting this guy over here. Then my James Mensah would be in medium. Great. So that is it. I'm going to be duplicating this for the other guys, and let me quickly do this. Let me quickly fast forward this part, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Alright guys, so welcome back. Now that we are done with the importation of our main speaker and the guest speakers and their names, the next thing we are going to be doing is to now put down the date and time of the program. Right, good. And that will be beneath this, that will be at this spot there, this part of the design. Good. So I'm going to be working with the ellipse tool, and so what I'm going to be saying is name. Okay, so with my ellipse tool selected, I'm going to be creating 3 shapes. So all right, so that is it for the shapes. we would actually be working with them soon. So just relax. Control J, sorry. All right. So currently, what I'm going to do next is this is my big shape, and it should be on top of the smaller ones. So with my right shape selected, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the lasso tool, and I'm going to cut this portion, the portion that walks directly into the bigger shape. I'm going to cut that portion off. So let's click on this part and click here. So click here. So it looks as if it was actually embedded in it. So with this, I'm going to be selecting my vector mask. So click on vector mask, and you can actually see the part I needed is gone, but the part I don't need is still there. So you don't have anything to worry. Just hold on your control and hit on I, then it inverts it back to what we want. Right, good. So we are currently going to do same for the other shape. So quickly, let's do this, guys. All right, so that is it for the. So I'm going to be grouping this, guys. So J, and that should be my date. So Control T, and then I should drop this, guys, in here. Good. All right, so that is it for the creation of the date. So what we are going to do now is I'm going to be typing the date in it. Right, good. So the date for this event is on Monday, actually. So Monday. All right, so that is it for the date, and the last thing that we are going to work on is the venue for the date. So the venue, we're going to use a rectangle shape. Right click in here, use a rectangle tool. Then I'm going to be drawing a shape like this. Alright guys, so this brings us to the end of today's video tutorial. If you learned something in here, please do well to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button, and also making sure to share your thoughts in the comment box below. Please note that links to the resource files will be left in the description below, so please do well to check the description area to get the link and download the file so you follow along what we're doing. Please do well to follow us on our other social media platforms at BlabenSolutions. So thank you so much for sticking around right from the beginning of this video till the end of the video. We are so much grateful to you, and see you in our next video.